So welcome guys to tonight's Bombshell Dynasty team call. My name is Jen Greenberg. I am an 8-star Elite Diamond coach, and I'm super excited to be on the call tonight and to share with you guys also with my coach Jenna Destafano, and we're going to talk about introverts and extroverts. And this is a topic that has come up a lot, and it's something that we talk about, or that my own team has talked about a lot, because a lot of people have misconceptions about one being better than the other, or that kind of thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off by taking a little quiz. So if you have a pen and paper, they're all true and false. There's 12 questions. So just keep track of your truths and your falses, and then your result will be based on that. So question number 1, I prefer one-on-one conversations to group activities. Number 2, I often prefer to express myself in writing. Number 3, I enjoy solitude. Number 4, I seem to care about wealth, fame, and status less than my peers. Number 5, people tell me I'm a good listener. Number 6, I'm not a big risk taker. Number 7, I enjoy work that allows me to dive in with few interruptions.
Thank you for your interest.
Number 8, I often let calls go through to voicemail. Number 9, I like to celebrate birthdays on a small scale with only 1 or 2 close family members. Number 10, people describe me as soft-spoken or mellow. Number 11, I prefer not to show or discuss my work with others until it's finished. And number 12, I tend to think before I speak. So if you already know what you are, you probably can tell just by saying, or just by reading these, you're probably like, yep, that's me. And like when I first took the quiz, I'm like, oh, I'm totally mostly truths. These describe me to a T. So if you got mostly truths, then welcome to my club. You are an introvert. Given the choice, you'll devote your social energy to the people you care about most, preferring a glass of wine with a close friend versus a party full of strangers. You think before you speak. You relish solitude. You feel energized when focusing deeply on a subject or activity that really interests you. You have an active inner life, but you are at your best when you tap into its riches. And then this word is new to me, ambivert. So I was curious to see how many ambies we've got in here, but that basically means you fall right smack in the middle. So you kind of get the best of both worlds, and you can kind of tap into either one of those as needed. So good for you. And then we've got the extroverts. If you got mostly false, you relish social life and you're energized by interacting with friends and strangers alike. You're assertive, you're a go-getter, you're able to seize the day, you're great at thinking on your feet, and you're relatively comfortable with conflict. You actively engage in the world around you, and you're at your best when you tap into its energy. So it's really awesome reading those definitions, because like when I read the introvert, I'm like, yep, that's totally 100% me. And when I read the extrovert, I'm like, yep, that's totally 100% Jenna. So I think that this call is going to be really great for you guys to kind of understand the differences and understand how both of these personality types can work in this business. Because like when you read the introvert and the extrovert, like in my mind, especially when I was a brand new coach, I thought that in order to be successful, you basically needed to have that extrovert profile, but that's totally not true. And you can use your introvert qualities to also build yourself an awesome business. So what I want you to think about as we go through this call is this might relate to you, but this also might relate to your prospects. So if you are not an introvert, just think about these things, because you're probably going to run into this as you are talking to people, inviting them to be a coach or inviting them to be a challenge. So these are basically my responses that I gave when I was first invited to be a coach. First of all, I told Scottie is my coach. So I told him I could never succeed in network marketing. I'm not a salesman. With my personality, I don't think I do very well, but I'd be happy to send you referrals. So that's basically what my responses are, and that's going to be a typical introvert response to the coaching opportunity or getting involved in any network marketing business. So those are what you're going to have to deal with, and some things that you can keep in mind if you are an introvert. And these are some things that you can tell introverts that are in your network. These are 5 reasons why I think that Beachbody is actually the perfect business for introverts. Number 1, personal development is the core of this industry. Now, you guys have heard us talk over and over and over again, like beat it like a dead horse about personal development. Now, introverts, we like reading. We are those geeky kids that went to summer camp and had a book bag full of books and tried to hide from everybody else and like didn't want to go and do the group activities. Like, we didn't want to do the team building exercises. We wanted to like stay behind and read or just be by ourselves. So it's kind of cool that personal development is one of the biggest aspects of this business, because we love that kind of stuff. And if you explain that to your customers or your prospects, I think that they'll really feel comfortable knowing that. Number 2, you can structure your business to your own comfort, the way that you want to work. One of the biggest things that I deal with as an introvert is I want to be comfortable. I don't like being pushed into positions that I don't know about beforehand or that I'm not familiar with. Like, I don't like new things. I don't like to be put on the spot. So one of the coolest things about this business is everything is on my terms. I work when I want to. I set up my computer and work where I want to. I work however much I want to. The ball is in my court, and I can structure it exactly how I want to do it. Number 3, this business is about relationships, connecting on a personal and intimate level. So I know there's like other MLMs out there where, it's great to do these big hotel meetings or, things like that. But really what I have found in Beachbody is those one-on-one intimate like friendships and relationships that you build are the ones that are going to be your future diamond and star diamond coaches. So going into this business, knowing that those relationships are going to be the ones that count is really comforting, because introverts do really well in those kind of positions. I can sit down and have a coffee date with somebody I met just the day before and feel comfortable. But if you bring me into a large room of like a networking event, I am not going to come out of my shell. I'm going to stay like to the side of the wall and probably not talk to anybody. I'll probably just get my phone out and just be like, let me search on Facebook, let me post on Instagram, tell people I'm out having drinks, and I won't talk to a single person. But if I can just have a one-on-one conversation, then I'll thrive in that. Number 4, you can hide behind your computer. That's like music to an introvert's ears. You don't have to be in the public spotlight. You don't have to be speaking on stage. You don't even have to be doing online webinars if you don't want to, but you can totally build this business without really ever getting out there. I mean, of course, if you want to set goals where you're pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, that's a totally different story. But for the most part, you can sit here, be at your computer, be at the comfort of your home, and do whatever you want to set up your work life to be. And number 5, solitude, meditation, alone time. Those things are encouraged. And people that are like very introverted, they need that. Like, if they go out, like let's say Summit, for example. You're in Summit, you are like around people buzzing with energy, and it's like you're at events and you're talking to people, you're hugging people, like that's draining to an introvert. And a lot of people, like when they get home, they need like a whole week to unwind from that. Like they need to process everything and take in like everything they heard, every conversation they had, every session that they went to. Like an introvert needs to sit down, process that, think about it, think about how it made them feel. So that's a great thing, because then that's when you kind of get your aha moments, and that's when you really connect with what you learned. So that's something that's also part of being an extra or an introvert, and it actually works well in this business. Now, if you are the one that's an introvert, here's 3 tips for you. Listen. The more that you learn about people that you're connecting with, the more that you can help them. And then that takes the spotlight off of you. Yay. And then that allows you to help others. So if I'm talking to somebody, I am the one that's listening. I always think about that phrase, you have 2 ears and 1 mouth. I sometimes even probably listen too much and don't say enough, but I like listening. I like hearing people's stories, and I like to not say too much. So that's one thing as an introvert that you can use to your advantage. So the more that you listen, the more that the other person is doing the talking. So you don't have to feel pressured on what to say. But number 2, you do need to get to know the products and know this business. Part of this is going to be self-confidence, and the more that you educate yourself and the more that you learn, the more confidence that you'll have, and you'll have a much easier time when it is your time to talk. So be a product of the product, and you've got to be excited about these products. People want to see that in you, and they want to see that you have results. And the more that you actually believe, the less that you'll come across as selling, and the less that you'll feel like you're selling, because that's definitely against your nature to do. And number 3, learn social media. Master it. Choose a platform, whether it's blogging, YouTube, Pinterest, Instagram, and just learn everything there is to know. If you want to set yourself up to have a business where you can work from the comfort of your home or hide behind the computer, you're going to need to learn internet marketing, social media, like whatever it is, but just pick something and just really commit yourself. It's not going to happen overnight. If you start a like page, it's going to take a while to build that momentum and to build that following. So just make a decision what it's going to be. Don't spread yourself all over the place. Just pick something, learn the ins and outs, and become a master at it. All right, now this one is more about like you working with your coaches that are introverts. So tip number 1, don't put them on the spot. So like if you are at Super Saturday and you have, some of your coaches sitting out there in the background, and then you just pick one out. Hey, Jen, why don't you come up here and share your weight loss transformation and how you were able to leave your job? Like they would probably just want to die if you didn't tell them about that beforehand, and they would just like sink down into their chair or like run away or like go into the bathroom and never come out. So don't put them on the spot. They need to feel prepared, and they need to, like I said before, process it, meditate on it, and think about what they want to say, if they want to say anything at all. Number 2, reach out regularly privately. A lot of times people think, like, because introverts are kind of quiet, shy, reserved, people get the misconception that we don't have anything to say, or that we don't have any response or any value to add to a conversation. This actually happens with me and my husband a lot, because he'll give this whole spiel about, whatever it is, a football game or an idea or whatever, and then I won't say anything. I'll just be like, oh, okay, that's cool. And then I don't really have any meaningful thoughts about it until later. And so it's like, to him, he's like, well, why didn't Jen have any, like, why didn't she care about my idea? It's not that I didn't care or I didn't have anything to add. It's just that I needed to process it first. So if you reach out regularly to your downline and just kind of message them on a one-on-one basis, just to say, hey, I was thinking about you today. Did you get a chance to watch that webinar? What were your thoughts? And just kind of bring it on that one-on-one basis. They may not respond to things on the team page. They may not post in the team groups because they don't want that spotlight. So the more that you're able to work with them on a one-on-one, the better of a relationship you'll be able to build. And number 3, recognition via personal message. So kind of similar to number 2, but I know a lot of us, with team calls or things like that, we post recognition on Thursdays for personal volume or success club or, all those things. So you may be tagging them if they are, being recognized, but it's also great to recognize them via personal message and just say, hey, I know you got Success Club for your first month last month. That was so awesome. I'm so proud of you. That personalization, that extra step that you take is really going to mean so much to somebody like me. So Scotty is also an introvert, so he knows how it is, and so he's able to deal with me the same way. And it's been a great learning experience for me as a leader to learn those little things on how to work with other people. So that's my part on introverts. So I'm going to introduce Jenna. She's a 9-star diamond. She's 10-star qualifying. She'll be 10-star on this week. And it's actually really cool that we are, that she's in my downline and one of my best friends. And it just kind of goes to show you that opposites attract. And even though we are very similar on so many different levels, but she's totally an extrovert and I am total opposite spectrum. So, but then when we get together, we totally mold. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and pass it on to her so that she can tell you a little bit about being an extrovert and how that can work in your business too.
Can you guys hear me? Anyone? All right, cool. Hi guys. Oh, I'm so excited to be on this call tonight. I can't even tell you. So in true extrovert fashion, I was dancing around the house earlier because I was so excited about this call, and my poor husband could tell like my nervous, excited energy was happening. And again, we had like people here today because we like to have people over in true extrovert fashion again. And it's nice right now because you don't know very much about me, and that's great because I'm here to change that tonight for you. But I have my dog asleep in my chair and my husband very close by listening because I do not like to be alone. I thrive on being with people and their excited energy, and I love that. That is what makes me the whole extrovert. And it's funny, when Jen and I talked about this call and what we wanted to do for it, we were trying to come up with ideas, and immediately I had to go process it with my husband, and I was like, what can we do? How can we make this work? And he was like, you guys are perfect for introvert extrovert. You guys should absolutely compare. But again, I had to process it with someone else because I think on my feet and I get really excited about things, and sometimes executing them is not always the easiest process. So it was just a great idea for this call, and it plays in our business so much. And Jen's right, we're very different people, but we've really grown in this business together. So this is a picture from the most recent Super Saturday. We hosted a Maryland Super Saturday, and of course, in true fashion, that's me there on the floor, laying down in front of the group. I am one of the leaders in the Maryland Leadership Council because when I joined Beachbody, one of the first things I wanted to do was be known and be a part of everything, and I wanted people to know my name, and I was just really excited about putting Maryland on the map, and I was excited about this business because let's face it, guys, this business there's nothing like it. It's the coolest thing out there, quite honestly. I've been doing this as a full-time Beachbody coach for over a year now, and I absolutely love it. I would never go back because this is a business where you can succeed being an introvert and you can succeed being an extrovert, and your business is just going to grow and it's going to thrive. And a lot of businesses, you can't do that. It doesn't work. And you don't have to be this person that's in everyone's face all the time about this business. You don't have to be salesy. You can be an extrovert and not overdo it and still be very successful in this business. So again, that's me. We have decided to put Maryland on the map because I love events and I love getting involved in things. So we, let's see, I guess Jen O'Keefe and I put together the biggest Super Saturday we've had in Maryland so far, 200 plus coaches, and we only continue to grow that. But that's a great example right there of my first Super Saturday had 10 people. Maybe not even 10 people. Maybe I'm being a little overzealous about it. So to see it grow and to grow into something else and planning events, that's just being an extrovert in this business. So I highly suggest if you are a coach and you're new in this business and you're excited and you love to get out, go to events. Super Saturday is coming up at the end of this month. You have to be there. You have to. Okay, so 5 tips for success when you're an extrovert coach. I'm going to break this down pretty simple, pretty basic, because I think better on my feet, like I said. So I don't have a whole lot of words here on the screen for you. Number 1, do not word vomit. Listen, it's so easy to do in this business because, like I said, we have an awesome company. We make great products. They get people great results. So it's sometimes really easy to just everything that you want to say to them right away because you love what you do and you love these products. Or maybe you had an amazing transformation or one of your customers had an amazing transformation and you get so excited about it. Easy. Calm down. You have to bring it down a notch. So as an extrovert, do not word vomit on your customers or your coaches for that matter. Pick bullet points, important things that you want to talk about or important things that you'd like to cover, and stick with those. It's going to be helpful whether you're talking to a customer or a coach so that you stay on track, you stay focused, and you don't overwhelm people. Because if you're talking to someone that's an introvert, they're going to just crumble. It's going to be too much information at one time. So pick bullet points. Keep it simple. Number 2, use time alone to work and do personal development. Honestly, extroverts hate being alone. A little bit of my backstory personally is I am married to a police officer and he works a crazy, crazy schedule. So when we first got married, I was still working full-time in an office 9 to 5 and he was working a rotating schedule evenings and days. So there was a lot of time we didn't see each other and I learned very quickly that I don't like being alone. I decided to find a way to grow this business and turn it into something so that I could work when I wanted to work and I could play when I wanted to play, so that my schedule could relate to his, so that I didn't have to have a ton of time alone. It worked out really good. So now I schedule Zoom calls during the time that he's at work or during the time that I'm alone. I plan coach meetings, I plan events, I plan my life so that I am never alone. It's just something I thrive off other people. And if you're an extrovert like me, you get that. You need to be around other people, getting ideas, moving ideas around, making things happen. So when you have time alone, use it to do work, whether it be Zoom calls or coach meetings or anything that you can do to connect with other people. That's really going to be beneficial to your business, and it's not going to make you annoyed that you have alone time. You can use it effectively. So also do personal development during this time, because if you're reading and you're watching something, your mind is moving and it's going towards something and it's keeping you stimulated. And quite honestly, that's what we need, is we need that outside stimulation helping us. So use the time alone effectively by doing those things. Number 3, plan events, but don't overwhelm people with too many. My team, Healthy for Life, we'll shout out for them. They are amazing at just accepting me for who I am, because I love planning team events. We have monthly coach meetings, we have cookouts, we have, I don't even know. We have crazy things that we do. We're doing a zombie run next month together. We do a lot of things together because like attracts like. So a lot of my team are extroverts. They're outgoing, they're excited, they love going and doing things. But for me, planning events became important because with our team, we're really, truly a family. And we liked that family dynamic. And I was raised in a family where we always spent time together. We were always doing something. My parents always had something planned. We were always together. So I love planning events and I love having people together. I think that we thrive and we grow that way. So plan events, but don't overwhelm people with too many. Super Saturdays, coach meetings, things like that. If you have coaches that are extroverts, they love this stuff, but the introverts don't, and they don't want a ton of events. So maybe once a month, do something as a team and make it optional so that people don't feel left out, but that they still can be a part of your business. Okay, so number 4, tell your story. It's your biggest asset. I'm going to preface this with going back to number 1. Pick bullet points about your story. What makes you you? What makes you have something that you can provide to others? How can you add value to other people by telling your story? Pick those bullet points and share that with other people. This business is about helping people, and we help each other by sharing our stories and our experiences and our struggles. So, which is all part of our mission statement on our team. It's just one of those things where if you're sharing what worked and you're sharing what you're excited about, people get excited about it too. It really, truly is your biggest asset, but do it effectively. No word vomit. We don't like that. Nobody needs that. Share your story. It's your biggest asset. 5, stop talking and listen. Jen just spoke about this perfectly. You need to listen to what other people have to say. It's great if you're forming someone and you're asking a lot of questions, because as coaches, that's what we're supposed to be doing. But make sure that you're taking the time to listen to other people, to hear what they have to say, to really, truly get to know and build relationships with people so that you can effectively help them the most. So stop talking and just listen. Okay, so odds are your team has extroverts and introverts on it. So in that case, what do? How do you effectively help the extrovert and the introvert when you're one or the other? This little guide here we put together talks about how to care for each one. So, how to care for extroverts. Respect their independence. I am a very independent person. It's just how I've always been. So respect that about people. Yes, I would be happy to provide you guys a copy of this slide. 2, compliment in the company of others. People thrive off compliments. It's just one of those things, and I love hearing compliments, and I love, after us working our butts off with Beachbody programs, compliments are great, right? So compliment them in the company of others. Extroverts love it. Accept and encourage their enthusiasm. As you can tell, I don't sit still. I'm very excited. So help people build on that. If they're extroverts, help them figure out a way to tailor it to their business. Allow them to explore and talk things out. I like to process. I don't know if anybody else does. I like to process out loud, and I like to process with other people. I don't like to just sit and think about things and then talk about them later, because I think on my feet. That's just how it goes. Thoughtfully surprise them. I don't know. We like surprises. That's fine. Understand when they are busy. You're going to find that your extroverts are your people that are just, their schedules are packed. Why? 1, they don't like being alone. And 2, they like to always be doing something. That's just normal. So understand that sometimes they're not going to be available, or they're going to be just too busy. And sometimes you might have to reel them in. That's normal too. Let them dive right in. If you're considered a go-getter when you're an extrovert, and in this business, you have to be a go-getter to a certain extent. So let those people dive right in. You know, it's a blessing when you get a coach that's a self-starter and they're a go-getter. So let them do that. Offer them options. Yes, options are a good thing. I just said to my husband today, we were shopping for bathroom vanity things, and he asked if I wanted to go look at the different mirrors, and I was like, no, we've already picked one out. Don't give me any more options. Too many. It's overwhelming. Make physical and verbal gestures of affection. This comes down to love languages. I don't know if you guys have read that, but you totally should. And what people thrive off of, we thrive off of affection and different gestures of that. And of course, number 10, let them shine. If you found someone that is excited and they're motivated, let them shine. That is fantastic. So, how to care for introverts. This is a little plug for Jen here. Okay, so respect their need for privacy. I think that's so important in this business to begin with, because we are talking about some sensitive things sometimes. So the next one is never embarrass them in public. You don't ever want to do that to anyone. But like Jen said too, don't ever just call them up at an event or something like that. That's not fair. Let them observe first in new situations. Take it easy. Give them time to think. Don't demand immediate answers, but you really shouldn't do that to anyone anyway. Let's be honest. So don't interrupt them. Give them advance notice if anything unexpected, or I guess any expected things change. Give them 15-minute warnings to finish whatever they're doing. My husband would definitely fit into this category, and he's a big fan of making sure he has time to finish what he's doing. So reprimand them privately. I'll just leave that one at that. Teach them new skills privately. Some people thrive better in a more one-on-one personal situation. So, and that specific category I think is important too. Enable them to find one best friend who has similar interests. I think this is good on your team, guys, when you are talking to people about their success partners, to make sure that you're pairing them up with people that are introverted or extroverted. Make sure that they match. So, and that would fit with the category of pairing them up with somebody that is more specifically like them. Don't push them to make lots of friends. They'll do it in their own time. And again, this business is building relationships at the rate that you choose to do it, and it doesn't necessarily decide if you're successful or not. So some people are going to just thrive in that forming situation, and some people are going to take it slower, and that's going to work out just fine for them too. And respect their introversion. Don't try to make them extroverts. I can't imagine forcing somebody to be something they're not, ever. And so even if you're qualifying for something, or you need something to happen, or you need a goal to be achieved, don't push people. No matter what you're doing in this business, if you're growing slowly with other people and you're giving them a chance to be who they are, they're going to thrive. Introvert, extrovert, it doesn't really matter. So these are some tips on how to care for extroverts and introverts in this business. Okay, so if you're a member of my team, you've heard this speech 800 times, and I'm so sorry you're going to hear it again because there's a lot of new folks that I'm chatting with tonight. So I say something pretty much on every one of my calls and to every single one of my coaches that I think is really, really important. So I put it in this at the end tonight because I think that it's something we all need to realize. Every person you come in contact with is a life that you have the potential to change. So I want you to think, whether you're an introvert or an extrovert right now, if you pass someone on the street, it might be uncomfortable to speak up or to say something to them. But if you don't, you could be the only person that they come in contact with that could change their life forever. So I just want you to think, if you speak up and you reach out and you talk to new people and you push yourself out of your comfort zone to a certain extent, of course, that could be a life that you have the potential to change, and you're not going to know it and they're not going to know it until you take that step and you do it. There is a great song on the radio right now on the Christian station that I listen to, and it says, "I don't want a flame, I want a fire." And I was just talking to my team about this the other night, because whether you consider yourself a flame and quiet and kept to yourself, or you consider yourself a huge fire, I want a fire. I think that the passion and the excitement and the potential to change lives and to get people excited and to just do what we do as Beachbody coaches can turn into a fire. No matter where you start in this business, whether it starts as a flame and it grows into a fire, or it just starts excited and it's a huge explosion. For me personally, I want a fire. I want to light people up. I want to get them excited, and I want to change lives. And that is what we do as coaches. So keep in mind that every person that you come in contact with is a potential life that you could change. And that's why we're doing this. So don't hesitate to speak up, to be that person for someone else. My challenge to you tonight is to do that and to figure out on your team if you have extroverts or introverts. And if so, how can you, as their leader or their coach, how can you help them effectively thrive and succeed? Thank you guys so much for allowing me to spend some time with you tonight, and Jen and I to talk to you guys about this topic. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. And you guys have an awesome, awesome evening.